I interviewed you 4 months ago. Now the time there's so much excitement, 800,000, all the rest of it. It's been rocky since. Let's just grasp it head on. What's your analysis?
There's been a bumpy road. Of that we all agree.
Why? Why is it? What's the issue? What's the main? How would you sum up what's happening?
I think we should have been more specific and clearer on the launch, on the arrangements for it. It was a shame that there were, in effect, how should I put it, premature launches made and premature announcements made, and that confused and upset a lot of people. We have now, I think, got to a very good place. We've now got the conference going on here, which is where we are at the moment, and we've got rapidly rising, well over 50,000 paid up members of the party. So we've now got a sustainable basis for our work and our activity. We're having an interim grouping assembling straight after this conference tomorrow, which will guide the party through to the election of an executive committee at the end of January, early February, and also starting straight away at the end of this conference will be the establishment of branches all over the country. And then the campaigning priorities, which I hope will be on equality and justice in our society, environment and sustainability and peace. So we've got to a better place. Was there problems on the way? Yeah, there are. There's been a lot of problems on the way, and it hasn't been an easy time. I'm not pretending it's been anything but difficult, and I'm sorry of the difficulties we had. But we are where we are, and we're going forward together.
We're going to talk about positive stuff. But before, I mean,
you're talking about positive stuff as well. Great.
We are going to talk more about that because it's important, and I want to talk about that. But so Zara Sultana, let's just talk about this head on. She did the launch of the party, and which you didn't agree to, and then she launched a membership portal. That caused this big public, furore. Did that? I mean, isn't that what's kind of hugely damaged the project? Those unilateral decisions.
That was a problem. Absolutely, you're quite correct. I like to think we've now got past and beyond that, and I think it was unfortunate, to put it mildly, but there's no point in overanalyzing it. It's happened.
What about the conference? Because she has huge amounts of money which were amassed because of the membership portal. Did that cause massive problems with the conference because it costs a lot of money?
It did, until about 2 weeks ago when we managed to get. We were very worried that we'd be able to even pay for the conference 2 weeks ago, but we managed to now get enough money in that we've now able to pay for everything at the conference, and that of course has happened, and the rest of the money, I'm assured, is coming very quickly, and I'm determined.
Why hasn't it been transferred?
I can't answer that question because it's not me who's transferring it.
I think Zara Sultana's camp, I guess, would say, well, the reason she did it is, time was of the essence. You've been this Labour man all your life, it was quite hard for you to break from the Labour Party, and maybe you were reluctant to set up a new party, and that's why it took long, and that's why she decided she had to go in unilaterally. What would you say?
I was expelled from the Labour Party more than a year ago, and I was removed from the Parliamentary Labour Party more than 5 years ago, so I'm the one that's been well out of Labour for a long time, and so I'm not sure about that argument, really.
Because she left much later, you mean? Yeah. And she wasn't... Yeah. I mean, what do you think in terms of...
But anyway, it's not a rivalry. We've got to get work going. Yeah.
What's the relationship like at the moment?
We're here. We're working together. We sent messages to different rallies and so on last night. I spoke this morning. She's speaking later today. Yeah, we're getting on fine.
In terms of... Because a lot of people have signed up, a lot of them joined the Green Party afterwards. They've got on 70,000. What would you say now to the kind of you'd say to people who, obviously a lot of people were very excited and they've gone to the Green Party. How would you win them back, or how would you say this is why your party is so distinct from the Green Party, that this is where you should support?
Distinctly socialist party, distinctly socialist aims, similar aims on sustainability and environment, probably because the Green Party's positions seem unclear to me on international policies. I think ours are much clearer in the sense of peace, disarmament, total support for Palestine, but also an end to the war in Ukraine.
What relationship do you think you'd have with the Green Party?
Well, I know Zach, I talk to him, I know a lot of people in the Green Party in my own community, and generally we get along quite well. I think at a local level, your party will be campaigning with Greens on a number of local issues, but we will be distinctive in our much stronger social justice political message. The Green Party is probably very broad on economic and social thinking. I suspect that the newer members are probably well to the left of the older members in the Green Party. We don't have that problem because we've got everybody new.
Well, on that, I mean, especially on economics, because I was asked yesterday by colleagues at Navarra, kind of what policies would you put to the electorate? And she said, and this is a direct quote, she said, nationalise the entire economy. What do you think of that?
I'm not sure what that means. I'm honestly not sure. I would want to see public ownership of major industries like energy and public services like mail, rail and water. And I would want to see the sort of stuff that John McDonnell and I worked out before the 17 and 19 elections, which is on National Investment Bank, and that's the role for it. Because I think we've also got to be clear, the priority is inequality and poverty in this country. The priority is poverty-stricken children, rough sleeping homeless, and from this budget, a tax system that brings 500,000 more people into tax who are the lowest earners. They're on 12,000 a year. They shouldn't be paying tax. They shouldn't be paying any tax at all. So I think the priorities have got to be ending poverty and inequality in our society. And that's why I suggested in my speech this morning that we could use our knowledge and skill level amongst our membership for a disabled persons commission on the need for reform of disability benefits and disability opportunities in Britain. We've got the strength to do that, and that's what we're going to be doing. That pushes the debate down the road.
It's interesting about the debate and the budget, because Starmerism based itself on defining itself against the left. That's pretty much all they had in the tank. And now they were briefing the New Statesman.
The man who used to be apparently my best friend.
He kept saying over and again, my friend, my dear colleague.
It was interesting news to me.
He said, denouncing how you were smeared in the media during the 2020 leadership contest. And then he purged you a few months later.
Yes, I do remember it.
I'm sure you do. They've gone around briefing to the New Statesman, who, you know, offered a bit of the in-house of the Labour Party, I think. But they said that they were happy with this seen as a left turn. And these are the people who said that, you know, the whole...
Well, the budget's a left turn.
That's what they said they were happy for that to be briefed.
God, it was a very subtle turn. In fact, it was so subtle I may have missed it altogether. Yes, it ended the two-child benefit cap. Wow. We should never have allowed it to continue 1 minute after they went into office.
But do you think they did that because of pressure, though? Do you think they felt the left... Before they were like, the left, we can ignore them. Yeah. But now... Because, for example, they thought they'd defeat you in Islington North, for example. They thought that would be a walkout.
And Unite, the union's position on the two-child benefit cap made a difference, as did others. But then the other side of the budget is there's no new tax rate for the very wealthiest. The gap between the rich and the poorest has got wider, and as I said before, 500,000 more people going into taxation. Why couldn't they have done something good, like saying we're going to index link the tax threshold and raise it by £1,000 a year for the next 3 or 4 years? So that would mean in 3-4 years' time, anyone earning less than £15,000 a year, index linked to whatever the inflation is by then, will pay no tax. That would actually make a massive difference to the poorest people. If you put money in the pockets of the poorest people, you know what they do? They spend it. They spend it on food. They spend it on transport. They spend it on stuff local. Give a tax break to a multi-billionaire. Cayman Islands has got plenty of money already. The public services in the Cayman Islands must be really good. They must be really good with all the money they've got there. I'm sure there's no hospital waiting list in the Cayman Islands. Do you know about that?
I mean, the Cayman Islands clearly, well, they probably don't have many potholes in their roads because I think that's the least of their troubles.
They've all been fixed.
Probably with money, actually, just flowing from the potholes. What, in terms of, would you like to be the leader of this?
I'm very happy to get it underway and set it off, and that's what I'm prepared to do. So I want to take it from this conference, get the branches, get the mission, get the message, get it going, and promote lots of other younger people. That's what I want to do.
Do you think there could be a leadership contest between you and Zara?
Well, let's see what the conference comes up with on the structure. Tomorrow the vote is going to be on setting up a leadership grouping, which is a good thing, because that means you'll bring together a group of people to be a committee who will therefore be tasked with setting that up. They'll then decide on what sort of leadership structure they want, whether appointed by that group, which I think would be probably seen as a bit undemocratic, or somebody elected by the whole membership, or a group of people elected by the membership. Let's see what comes out of tomorrow. But whatever comes out, I'll go along with it.
And what do you think three priorities should be? I mean, because a lot of this has been quite inward-facing. That's the issue, isn't it? It's been very
It's almost a rules revision conference, like a union rules revision conference, because that's what we're debating. And sadly, to set up a party, you have to do that. I would much rather we had a debate on housing and debate. I'd rather that. Anyway, that is for the next conference, or next local or regional conferences. So we go forward on that.
Will you be standing candidates in the local elections?
Yes, but usually with independent alliance local people. So for example, in Liverpool Community Independence, they're all here today and they're working very hard at the conference, and there's lots of other groups like that. So some will be your party, some will be supporting other groups as a joint operation. This will be the first outing, but remember, the elections are not very far away. December starts on Monday, nominations close at the end of March. So there's only 4 months between those two, and then the elections. But it's also what they do in Scotland and Wales. In Scotland, we haven't reached a decision yet. The Scottish comrades are going to be doing that, but in all probability, they'll be contesting on the list basis.
A couple of funny things. I mean, you mentioned that, for example, the independent MPs, for example, yeah. and again, there's been trouble there. I somehow have a worry that there could be a schism between the kind of left broadly defined and lots of Muslim communities. There are 4 million British Muslims, and there are potential tensions that can emerge and all the rest of it. But some people say it's actually a really good thing that you can have the left and British Muslims who face so much Islamophobia, systemic discrimination, all the rest of it. You have these broad alliances. But is there danger that a lot of the drama in your party is kind of opening up these kind of divisions?
Well, I want to close these divisions. I want to make sure that we centre on issues of poverty, injustice, inequality and opposition to racism in every form in our society. Last night we had a poetry and music event which I spoke at, and I read a poem by a young man from my constituency called Yusuf, who describes in graphic terms the Islamophobia he faces, the Islamophobia his family faces. That's in London, which is seen as the most liberal place in the country, if you like. Very powerful. We've got to work with all communities to deal with this. There cannot be such a schism. The Muslim community in general is poorer than the rest. In general, suffers as much or worse racism as anybody else within our society, and that's not meant to be a competition between them. It's about bringing those people together, but they become very active and very involved on issues of Palestine, which you and I know very, very well. And I think we should remember that Palestine, for all the horrors of the disgusting treatment of the Palestinian people, has been a political wake-up call for the left all over Europe and North America in a way that 20 years ago you and I would never have thought was even possible.
Biggest mass politicisation event of our time. Yeah. Finally, your barometer for success for this weekend. What would you, if you leave, go back to London, go back to your constituency, which you've represented obviously, 42 years now, what would be your barometer? This was a good, successful 2 days. What would you?
We leave here with unity. We leave here with agreement. We leave here with determination. Equality, sustainability, peace. And I'll be happy with that.
Sounds good. Cheers, Owen. That was great. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers, buddy.